Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing you a long-form deep dive about Cenk and Mahessine. If you enjoy this style of video, please hit like, subscribe, and tap the join button below to support the channel. Now, let's get into it, calmly, carefully, and with respect for everyone involved. For months the conversation around Ezaret has been about more than ratings and plot twists. Two names kept surfacing beyond the script: Cenk and Mahessine. On screen, their performances were disciplined and magnetic. Off-screen, a tide of speculation began to rise. The questions came in waves. Were Cenk and Mahessine close only as colleagues who carried a demanding show together? Or was there a deeper bond forming in the quiet spaces that the camera never sees? At the same time, headlines about Cenk's marriage to Nergis entered the picture, veering from routine coverage into talk of separation and, eventually, a difficult divorce process. As always, public curiosity outran verified facts, and that is where misunderstandings multiply. In this video, we'll walk through what is known, what is rumored, and how each person's choices shape the narrative the audience thinks it knows. First, context. Ezaret is the kind of set that turns co-workers into a unit: heavy shooting days, the choreography of intense scenes, the routine of early calls and late wraps. People who have never worked in that rhythm often underestimate how interdependent it is. Rehearsals fold into retakes, technical waiting stretches into long conversations about character, pacing, breath. Sources close to production describe Cenk and Mahessine as exacting professionals, two actors who would rather run a scene 3 more times than let a false moment stand. That kind of rigor builds trust. Trust looks like shorthand: a glance that means, "I've got you on this beat," a hand on a shoulder after an emotional take, a private joke that releases tension. Fans often misread that intimacy as evidence of a private romance. Sometimes they are right, sometimes the truth is simpler. Here, that blurred line became the soil for rumors to take root. When the first photos surfaced, nothing extravagant, just two colleagues leaving the same rehearsal space within minutes of each other. Social media did what it always does: magnified coincidence. A cafe receipt on one feed matched the logo visible in the other story. A quote about choosing peace posted by Cenk landed the same afternoon that Mahessine reshared a line about gratitude and boundaries. The pairing of posts looked deliberate, even if it wasn't. Meanwhile, separate reporting on Cenk's marriage to Nergis gained momentum. Some outlets said the couple had been struggling quietly, others insisted the problems were new. Friends urged caution: there are kids and careers in the mix, don't turn this into a spectator sport. Still, timelines filled with theories tying everything together into a single story: new closeness on set, marriage under strain, divorce on the horizon. It is human to look for patterns, but pattern making isn't proof. What did the people involved do? Cenk kept his comments procedural. Asked directly, he didn't feed the rumor mill. He spoke about work obligations, the seriousness of divorce law, and the need to protect the dignity of everyone affected. He supported that stance with action: no tell-all interviews, no reactive live streams, no cryptic captions thrown like fuel on a spark. Mahessine matched that tone. She shifted attention back to craft: scripts, readings, training, a charity event tied to educational access. She did not antagonize, insinuate, or perform victory. Nergis, placed in the most difficult position by sheer proximity to the headlines, avoided public dramatics. Through counsel, her focus was described as pragmatic: stabilize schedules, prioritize the children, keep negotiations private. That restraint, from all sides, didn't silence speculation. But it did something more important: it set a boundary. If you trace the timeline carefully, you can locate the moments when rumor threatened to harden into accusation, and then didn't, because someone chose the harder path. When a tabloid tried to frame a behind-the-scenes clip of laughter as a caught red-handed moment, crew members quietly contextualized it: it was after an especially intense scene, and half the set was laughing in relief right outside the frame. When a gossip page circulated an alleged airport sighting, the date stamp didn't match either actor's call sheet, and the post vanished within a day. That is how narratives evolve online: 1,000 tiny misalignments get treated like truth until someone checks the time code. Meanwhile, the legal reality of Cenk and Nergis's marriage moved forward in the background. Divorce is not a headline, it's a process. There are filings and mediations, drafts that get redrafted, long discussions about custody and calendars. The people who know said the same thing in different ways. Grief and logistics are a brutal combination. Separating a shared life means touching every object, every habit, every plan you once made. It is possible for two people to reach that place without a single villain in the story. It is also possible to believe that without minimizing anyone's pain. That nuance rarely trends, but it matters. What about Cenk and Mahessine, specifically, the heart of why you clicked? Here is the most honest, careful framing. Their rapport is real. Their respect for one another's discipline is obvious to anyone who has watched them work. Their closeness has been observed by people who also emphasize how professional both have remained while cameras are rolling and while the divorce process is active. Some friends describe a bond that grew from colleagues to confidants, others insist it is still a friendship shaped by the intensity of a shared project. Both versions can be true at different moments in time, especially when life is moving fast. What they have not done is weaponize attention. No soft launches with strategically obscured photos. No branded couple reveals. No performative collaborations designed to capitalize on gossip. Whether that restraint springs from private sensitivity, legal caution, or personal ethics, the result is the same: the public gets less to spin, and the work returns to the center. Fans, for their part, have broken into three broad camps. The romantics are convinced they are watching the early chapters of a love story that began under hot lights and found its way into ordinary daylight. The skeptics believe we project too much onto the lives of people whose job is to manufacture emotion. The realists land in between. They root for everyone's well-being, they understand timing is delicate, and they refuse to be drafted into anyone's agenda. It is the realists you hear when a comment reads, "cheering for healthy boundaries," or "let the paperwork finish and let the people breathe." That posture might not generate the wildest engagement, but it builds the healthiest community. A smaller but loud chorus tried to seize the moment to attack. Personal insults aimed at Mahessine for simply being present. Backhanded sympathy aimed at Nergis that treats her as a plot device instead of a person. Demands that Cenk explain himself in 15 seconds or be judged forever. These reactions misunderstand the stakes. None of us has standing in a stranger's marriage. Curiosity does not entitle us to discovery. What we do have is the opportunity to model the kind of fandom we want to be part of: curious but not cruel, invested but not invasive. Where does the story go from here? The answer may be deliberately unexciting. Ezaret will continue to be the primary stage on which Cenk and Mahessine speak to the world. If and when they choose to define their relationship beyond the set, it will likely be in language that emphasizes personal growth rather than winning or losing. If, when the divorce reaches finality, there will be a flurry of coverage followed, ideally, by a long quiet, the quiet of people rearranging their lives with care. You may see Cenk at a school event with a gentle handshake that tells you co-parenting is being taken seriously. You may see Mahessine post about a project that has nothing to do with romance, because actresses don't exist to feed fan speculation. You may even see all three names, Cenk, Mahessine, Nergis, disappear from headline culture for a while, and that will be a victory larger than any plot twist. Before we close, one more thought about how these public narratives shape private choices. It matters that Cenk's team didn't exploit the moment. It matters that Mahessine kept saying no to unimaginative brand pitches that wanted to turn a rumor into a campaign. It matters that Nergis declined to let pain be monetized. These are small acts of resistance in an economy that pays handsomely for chaos. They suggest that, even inside a storm, people can still choose a compass. So, here is the summary you can carry away without adding heat to a fragile situation. Cenk and Mahessine built a real bond on a demanding set. Some of that bond looks like romance to observers, all of it looks like mutual respect. Cenk and Nergis are navigating a divorce that is, by all accounts, hard and private. Outside noise has tried to spin those facts into a scandal. The people at the center have repeatedly refused to play along. Until they speak with clarity that goes beyond rumor, the the most responsible posture is patience. If you found this approach useful, slow, careful, and human, please like the video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss future deep dives. In the comments, tell me what kind of coverage you want more of: timeline breakdowns, media literacy explainers, or long interviews with coaches and crew who can talk about what a respectful set actually looks like. As always, thanks for watching, and take good care.